Have you ever wondered why a 200-year-old romance novel continues to captivate millions of readers worldwide? What if I told you that Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice contains timeless lessons about human nature, relationships and personal growth that are more relevant today than ever before? As someone who has analysed thousands of literary works, I can confidently say that this masterpiece offers profound insights that extend far beyond its romantic surface. Today, we're diving deep into one of literature's most enduring classics to uncover the psychological wisdom, social commentary, and life lessons that have made this novel a cornerstone of English literature for over 2 centuries. Published in 1813, Pride and Prejudice emerged during a transformative period in English society, capturing the tensions between traditional aristocratic values and the emerging middle class. Jane Austen crafted this novel during the Regency era, a time when women's rights were severely limited, marriages were often strategic alliances, and social mobility remained largely restricted by birth circumstances. What makes this work extraordinary is Austen's revolutionary approach to storytelling. Rather than focusing solely on external adventures or dramatic plot twists, she pioneered the psychological novel, delving into the inner lives of her characters with unprecedented depth. The story follows Elizabeth Bennet, a spirited young woman who challenges societal expectations, and Fitzwilliam Darcy, a wealthy landowner whose initial arrogance masks deeper complexities. The novel's enduring appeal lies in its sophisticated exploration of universal themes that transcend historical boundaries. Austen masterfully weaves together romance, social criticism, and character development to create a narrative that speaks to fundamental human experiences. Her sharp wit and keen observation of human behaviour illuminate the prejudices, assumptions, and social pressures that continue to shape our interactions today. The title itself reveals the central conflict. Pride, representing stubborn self-regard and social superiority, clashes with prejudice, the tendency to judge others based on incomplete information or societal biases. Through her characters' journeys, Austen demonstrates how these flaws can be overcome through self-reflection, empathy, and genuine human connection. The story centres on the Bennet family of Longbourn, where Mrs. Bennet's singular obsession involves marrying off her 5 daughters to secure their financial futures. When the wealthy Charles Bingley rents nearby Netherfield estate, accompanied by his proud friend Fitzwilliam Darcy, the local social dynamics shift dramatically. Elizabeth Bennet, the novel's protagonist, initially finds herself attracted to the charming but unreliable George Wickham, while developing an intense dislike for the seemingly arrogant Darcy. Her prejudices are reinforced when Wickham spins fabricated tales about Darcy's past cruelty, painting him as a villain who destroyed Wickham's prospects and happiness. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's gentle sister Jane develops feelings for Bingley, who appears equally smitten until he suddenly departs Netherfield without explanation, leaving Jane heartbroken. Elizabeth blames Darcy's influence for separating the potential couple, further cementing her negative opinion of him. The narrative reaches its turning point when Darcy unexpectedly proposes to Elizabeth, expressing his love while simultaneously insulting her family's social standing. Elizabeth's fierce rejection forces both characters to confront their fundamental misconceptions about each other and themselves. Darcy's subsequent letter reveals shocking truths about Wickham's actual character, including his attempted seduction of Darcy's 15-year-old sister Georgiana, and explains his role in separating Jane and Bingley, which he believed was protecting his friend from an unsuitable match. This revelation catalyses Elizabeth's transformation as she recognises her own prejudicial judgments and hasty conclusions. Similarly, Darcy begins examining his prideful behaviour and works to become more worthy of Elizabeth's respect and affection. The climax arrives when Elizabeth's younger sister Lydia elopes with Wickham, threatening the family's reputation and her sister's marriage prospects. Darcy secretly intervenes, tracking down the couple, forcing Wickham to marry Lydia, and covering their debts, demonstrating his growth and genuine love for Elizabeth. The opening social gathering at Meryton Assembly establishes the central relationships and conflicts that drive the entire narrative. When Bingley and Darcy attend this local dance, their contrasting personalities immediately become apparent. Bingley's warmth and approachability win over the community, while Darcy's reserved demeanour and apparent dismissal of local society, particularly his overheard comment that Elizabeth is tolerable but not handsome enough to tempt him, creates lasting negative impressions. Elizabeth's encounter with George Wickham represents a crucial turning point in her emotional journey. Wickham's superficial charm and fabricated sob story about Darcy's supposed mistreatment perfectly align with Elizabeth's existing prejudices. She readily accepts his version of events because it confirms her preconceived notions, demonstrating how confirmation bias can blind us to truth. This relationship reveals Elizabeth's susceptibility to manipulation when information supports her desired conclusions. The visit to Rosings estate, where Elizabeth meets Lady Catherine de Bourgh, Darcy's imperious aunt, provides essential character development for both protagonists. Lady Catherine's overwhelming arrogance and social snobbery serve as a mirror, showing Elizabeth what excessive pride looks like, while simultaneously revealing Darcy's patience and restraint in dealing with his difficult relative. This episode also establishes Lady Catherine's expectation that Darcy will marry her sickly daughter, adding another layer of social complexity to the developing romance. Darcy's first proposal scene at Hunsford Parsonage represents the novel's emotional and thematic climax. His declaration of love, delivered with simultaneous expressions of superiority and condescension, perfectly encapsulates the pride-prejudice dynamic. Elizabeth's passionate rejection speech forces both characters to confront their deepest flaws. Her accusation that he has behaved in an ungentlemanlike manner strikes at the core of Darcy's identity, while his critique of her family's impropriety challenges her defence of loyalty. The letter Darcy delivers the following morning serves as the novel's pivotal revelation moment. His detailed explanation of Wickham's true character, including the attempted seduction of Georgiana, completely reverses Elizabeth's understanding of recent events. More significantly, his justification for separating Jane and Bingley, while painful to read, demonstrates his genuine concern for his friend's welfare based on observations of Jane's reserved behaviour and her family's inappropriate conduct. Elizabeth's visit to Pemberley Estate marks her transformation from prejudice to understanding. Seeing Darcy's home and hearing his servant's genuine affection for him provides concrete evidence of his true character. The housekeeper's stories about his kindness to tenants and generosity to the poor reveal the man behind the proud facade. This episode demonstrates how environments and relationships can reveal character more accurately than first impressions. The Lydia Wickham elopement crisis tests every character's values and priorities. While the Bennet family faces social ruin, Darcy's decisive intervention demonstrates his complete character transformation. He tracks down the couple, forces Wickham to marry Lydia by paying his debts and purchasing his military commission, and keeps his involvement secret, expecting no gratitude or recognition. This selfless act proves his love for Elizabeth transcends social considerations. Lady Catherine's confrontation with Elizabeth about her rumoured engagement to Darcy provides the final catalyst for the couple's union. Her demanding that Elizabeth renounce any claims to Darcy backfires spectacularly, as Elizabeth's refusal to be intimidated demonstrates her strength of character. When Lady Catherine reports this conversation to Darcy, it actually encourages him to renew his courtship, showing how attempts to control others often produce opposite results. The fundamental lesson about overcoming first impressions resonates powerfully in our contemporary world of social media and instant judgments. Elizabeth's initial assessment of Darcy as arrogant and cruel, based solely on limited observations and second-hand information, mirrors how we often form lasting opinions about people within minutes of meeting them. The novel demonstrates that genuine understanding requires time, multiple interactions, and willingness to revise our conclusions when presented with new evidence. This principle applies equally to professional relationships, friendships, and romantic partnerships. Understanding the destructive power of confirmation bias represents another crucial insight from Austen's work. Elizabeth readily believes Wickham's lies about Darcy because they confirm her existing negative opinions, while simultaneously dismissing evidence that contradicts her preconceptions. This psychological tendency continues to shape human behaviour in politics, personal relationships, and decision-making processes. The novel teaches us to actively seek information that challenges our assumptions rather than simply collecting evidence that supports our preferred conclusions. The relationship between pride and authentic self-confidence reveals important distinctions often overlooked in discussions about self-esteem. Darcy's initial pride stems from insecurity and social anxiety manifesting as superiority and dismissiveness toward others. True confidence, as he eventually learns, involves comfortable self-acceptance without the need to diminish others. This lesson applies to leadership roles, social interactions, and personal development, showing how genuine strength comes from secure self-knowledge rather than defensive superiority. Marriage as a partnership of equals emerges as a revolutionary concept within the novel's historical context and remains relevant today. Unlike the transactional marriages surrounding them, Elizabeth and Darcy's relationship develops through intellectual compatibility, mutual respect, and shared values. Their union demonstrates that healthy relationships require both partners to grow and change, accommodating each other's perspectives while maintaining individual identity and principles. The importance of family loyalty, balanced with individual integrity, creates ongoing tension throughout the narrative. Elizabeth loves her family despite their flaws, but refuses to excuse their inappropriate behaviour or let their shortcomings define her own choices. This balance between loyalty and accountability applies to contemporary family dynamics, workplace relationships, and social groups where we must navigate between support and enabling destructive patterns. Economic independence and its relationship to personal freedom represents a theme that resonates strongly with modern audiences. Elizabeth's ability to reject Darcy's initial proposal stems partly from her family's sufficient income to maintain respectability, while her friend, Charlotte Lucas, accepts the odious Mr. Collins purely for financial security. The novel explores how economic vulnerability can force compromising choices, while financial stability enables authentic decision-making based on genuine preference rather than desperate necessity. The power of genuine apology and behavioural change provides a masterclass in conflict resolution and personal growth. Darcy doesn't simply apologise for his past behaviour, he demonstrates transformation through consistent actions that address Elizabeth's specific criticisms. His intervention in the Lydia Wickham crisis, his renewed courtesy toward Elizabeth's family, and his humble acceptance of her initial rejection show how genuine change requires sustained effort, rather than mere verbal acknowledgement. Social class flexibility and merit-based respect challenge rigid hierarchical thinking that persists in various forms today. While the novel doesn't completely reject social distinctions, it argues that true gentility comes from character and behaviour rather than inherited titles or wealth. Elizabeth's ability to hold her own in conversations with Lady Catherine and her eventual acceptance into aristocratic circles demonstrate how intelligence, integrity and dignity can transcend social barriers. The consequences of gossip and reputation management illustrate how public perception can shape individual opportunities and choices. The novel shows how rumours spread rapidly through social networks, affecting not just the subject, but their entire family. This theme connects directly to contemporary concerns about social media, online reputation, and the lasting impact of public judgment on personal and professional prospects. Pride and Prejudice endures as a literary masterpiece because it addresses fundamental aspects of human nature that transcend historical periods and cultural boundaries. Jane Austen's brilliant character development and psychological insight create a narrative that continues to resonate with readers across generations, offering wisdom about relationships, personal growth, and social dynamics that remain startlingly relevant. The novel's exploration of pride and prejudice as universal human flaws provides a framework for understanding contemporary conflicts and misunderstandings. Whether navigating professional relationships, family dynamics, or romantic partnerships, the lessons embedded in Elizabeth and Darcy's journey offer practical guidance for overcoming initial impressions, challenging our assumptions, and building authentic connections based on genuine understanding rather than superficial judgments. Perhaps most significantly, the novel demonstrates that meaningful change is possible when individuals possess the courage to examine their own flaws honestly and the determination to modify their behaviour accordingly. Elizabeth's willingness to acknowledge her prejudicial judgments and Darcy's transformation from proud aristocrat to worthy partner illustrate how personal growth can lead to deeper happiness and more fulfilling relationships. As we face our own social challenges and relationship complexities, Pride and Prejudice continues to offer timeless wisdom, wrapped in an engaging narrative that proves great literature's power to illuminate the human condition while providing both entertainment and enlightenment.